People rarely attack you directly. They test you first. They push small boundaries. They check if you react, if you bend, if you explain. Disrespect rarely begins with a slap. It begins with a smirk, a delayed reply, a subtle tone shift, a small lie, a small betrayal. These are not accidents. They are measurements, probes, experiments. People try you because they want to know how far they can go before you break. They're not testing your kindness. They're testing your thresholds, your patience, your self-worth, your need for approval. The world is full of opportunists, people who push until they meet resistance. And if they meet none, they assume ownership. The harsh truth is this: if you don't stop small disrespect, you will suffer big disrespect. You do not teach people how to treat you by what you say. You teach them by what you allow. Your silence is always interpreted. Your forgiveness is always recorded. Your tolerance is always measured. People learn you. They map you. They calculate you. And once they understand you have no edge, they push. Not because they hate you, but because humans exploit weakness the way water finds cracks. It's natural, predictable, psychological. This is why the dark method begins before disrespect becomes visible. It begins with awareness, with noticing the tiny shifts, with observing the subtle signs. Because the one who sees early punishes quietly, and the one who punishes quietly never gets tried twice. Most people fight disrespect incorrectly. They react, they confront, they yell, they demand apologies, they explain their feelings. All of these are weak positions because the moment you react emotionally, you lose the psychological high ground. People don't fear emotional men. They study them, they predict them, they manipulate them. Weak people talk, powerful people observe. Weak people threaten, powerful people shift. Weak people explode, powerful people withdraw. The dark method works because it is built on two laws of human psychology. Law 1. Humans fear what they can't predict. Your silence is scarier than your words. Your calmness is more unsettling than your anger. Law 2. Humans crave patterns. When you break pattern, you break control. When they expect you to react, and you don't, you destroy their understanding to you. This creates confusion, guilt, fear, self-doubt, and a sudden analysis of their behavior. This is punishment without effort, consequence without confrontation, dominance without display. You never say, "You crossed the line." Your shift makes them realize they crossed it themselves. The dark method is powerful because it flips the emotional burden from your shoulders to theirs. They begin to wonder, did I go too far? Why did his energy change? What did I do? Is he done with me? Is he planning something? These questions eat them alive. This psychological uncertainty is stronger than any revenge. The dark method works because it attacks the mind, not the moment. When someone disrespects you, you don't fight, you don't argue, you don't teach, you don't explain, you simply perform. The withdrawal. This is the first step of the dark method. It is subtle, it is quiet, it is cold, it is controlled. Here's what withdrawal looks like. 1. Your responses become shorter. Not rude, not angry, just controlled, measured, neutral. 2. Your availability decreases. No more instant replies, no more emotional investment, no more prioritizing them. 3. Your emotional warmth fades. Not bitterness, just absence. No validation, no enthusiasm. 4. Your predictability disappears. You are no longer easily read, no longer easily accessed, no longer easily influenced. This withdrawal is psychological warfare delivered in silence. When they notice your shift, they will try to test you again. They want to see if your silence is real or if it's temporary. Hold the line. Stay distant. Stay calm. You are not teaching them a lesson. You are showing them a reality. Access to me was a privilege, not a right. People fear losing what they took for granted, and when you withdraw, they feel the loss instantly. The dark method begins the moment they start chasing the version of you they no longer have. The mirror effect is the second stage of the dark method. It works because humans can't tolerate psychological gaps. When something doesn't make sense, they obsess. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their own behavior straight back at them. This mirror forces them to see the tone they used, the words they chose, the way they acted, the disrespect they delivered. And because the mind hates unanswered questions, their brain begins replaying the entire interaction. This creates overthinking, guilt, embarrassment, fear of loss, fear of being replaced. They start imagining scenarios that are far worse than anything you could have said out loud. The mirror effect works best when you refuse to explain, because explanation relieves guilt. Silence intensifies it. Let them feel the weight of their own behavior. Let their conscience punish them better than you ever could. Never underestimate the human mind's ability to torture itself when facing the unknown. The mirror effect ensures they never try you the same way again. Not because you punished them, but because they punished themselves. Once the withdrawal and the mirror effect have destabilized them, you begin the third stage, the shift. The shift is your transformation into a man who can no longer be crossed without consequence. You become more stoic, more controlled, more distant, more selective, more self-contained. Your vibration changes, your posture shifts, your tone becomes minimal, your actions become deliberate. Here's how the shift manifests. 1. You respond with calm, slow speech. Nothing emotional, nothing needy, nothing dramatic. 2. You stop giving unnecessary information. Mystery becomes your armor. Privacy becomes your power. 3. You take longer pauses before speaking. This signals dominance. Only powerful men use silence. 4. You allow others to talk and reveal themselves. People fear silence because they expose themselves trying to fill it. 5. You speak only when needed. Every word becomes valuable. Every sentence has weight. Your presence becomes heavier. This shift makes people think twice before crossing you again, because they realize the old version of you, the reactive one, the forgiving one, the patient one, is dead. In its place stands a colder, wiser, more dangerous version who doesn't punish with anger, but with absence. A version who doesn't demand respect, but commands it simply by existing. The final stage of the dark method is the farthest from emotion and the closest to power. It is the rule that permanently rewires how people treat you. I don't give second chances to the same disrespect. The final punishment is not silence, not withdrawal, not distance, but removal. Quiet removal, calm removal, controlled removal. You stop explaining, you stop repeating yourself, you stop accepting recycled behavior. When disrespect repeats, you don't punish, you disappear. This disappearance is not dramatic, it is evolutionary. People don't fear losing you when you threaten to leave. People fear losing you when you don't announce your exit. Walking away is the sharpest psychological consequence because it forces them to face a reality they never expected. You were the valuable one. You were the stable one. You were the one they should have protected. Now the sense of loss becomes their punishment. The regret becomes their teacher. The emptiness becomes their correction. You don't need revenge. You don't need confrontation. You don't need validation. Your growth is their consequence. Your silence is their question. Your absence is their lesson. And the law becomes clear. They never try you again, not because you demanded respect, but because you evolved into someone they cannot afford to disrespect.